South Shields has always been a rock town, and even when fans and faces of music have passed, like the indie culture of the late 80s and the big dance boom of the 90s, then you've still got the rock scene. We might be getting older, greyer and fatter, but I think a lot of people in this town will always have a massive place in their hearts for that kind of music. We've always had people from this town that have been so fanatical about the bands that they have followed. I've grown up with many of them from my late teens onwards, and some of them remain just as passionate about their music now as they were over 25 years ago. My name's Colin Smoult. I'm 42 years old and I live in the town which I was born, South Shields, which is a small seaside town about 10 miles east of Newcastle. My occupation is a shopkeeper. It's essentially what people used to refer to as a head shop. I sell things like pipes and bongs, which 20 years back might have been seen as being very risky, but in this day and age it's all fairly acceptable. It's only a tiny shop with a minimal amount of trade, but I'm my own boss, and if it pays the bills, then I'm quite happy. So that allows me plenty of time to pursue my other hobbies and interests, and my main one is local live music. I've been the singer and the guitarist in a band called Shovelmouth for the last 11 years now, and we play various gigs and pubs scattered right across the region. The songs are all rock cover versions, but the pub rock scene is huge in the northeast of England, and on a Friday or Saturday night there are probably 100 pubs or more putting on live entertainment featuring full-on rock bands. South Shields alone has half a dozen pubs that put on live music, and the largest of these is called The Office. Not only does my own band play at the venue, but I'm also responsible for the booking of the acts that get to play there every weekend. The acts are mainly small local bands playing a variety of covers, but now and then we'll put on special events that feature tribute bands, and some of these might even be from out the area. I'm a rocker at heart, but I find in this region there are a lot of people that love the same kind of music, so I'll book the bands that people want to see the most. I'm pretty passionate about live music, and I'll only book the very best out of the talent that we have. Some people may say it's a bit sad, and may view it as just a bunch of middle-aged fogies trying to recapture their youth. But nostalgia is a big booming industry, and if people want to hear songs from their youth being played live in the local pubs, then who am I to deny them? Whether the bloke singing the songs or the guy that books the band to do the job, I'm content to know that I'm doing my bit to allow people to have a good time after a long week at work. I'm also involved with a website called Riffs, which pushes and promotes local bands, and apart from things like news pages and gig guides, I also post up my own reviews of the many bands that I get to see here. So I suppose my hobby is pretty full-time, because as well as being directly involved every weekend, during the week I'm always writing stuff up and arranging things for the venue and my own band. I like to keep in touch with lots of the groups out there, so it's quite a lot of time spent gobshiting with people on the internet as well. But don't get us wrong, I get a huge buzz out of being on stage and entertain people, but if you've got any band up there playing with a superb crowd watching them, then for me the atmosphere in the room will be just as enjoyable. The standards of musicianship on the local circuit is extremely high, and is probably way beyond what a lot of people would term as pub bands in other parts of the country. The old club scene has become a lot more pop orientated in the last 20 years, and a lot of the rock players that used to play that circuit have now moved into the pubs instead. So the end result is that we have some amazing musicians kicking around, and most of the bands that you get to see are free admission too. So for a lot of people aged in their 30s, 40s and 50s, then a Friday or Saturday night watching a live band is a very cheap way to have a fantastic night out. If I'm not playing with my own band, then I'm here at the office watching them instead. Either way, for me, every weekend is dominated by my love of live music. I've got tons of pride in what I do, but for me there's only one true satisfaction, and that's putting a smile on people's faces. If I can be involved in any way with live music that others gain a lot of pleasure from, then I get immense satisfaction from doing that. I suppose that as I get older, then I won't be able to bounce around on stage in the same way, and eventually there'll come a time when I'll have to retire from live performances. But I think I'll always stay involved with the local band scene, even if I have to be brought in on a wheelchair. I've jokingly said that when I die I want my ashes scattered under the stage at the office, but honestly, it's as good a place as any, and if that way I'll always be close to what I love.